Hey guys! It's been a while, I know. Don't hate me. Don't come for me. But I'm sorry. Let's just get that out there. I'm sorry. It's been 2 weeks and I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of myself. Sorry, no, I'm not ashamed. I have a perfectly reasonable explanation as to why it's been taking me a couple weeks to get these videos out. And you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm just admitting this right off the bat. I haven't washed my hair in a few days. That's why it's looking wild. If I'm messing with my hair all throughout this video, I haven't washed it in a few days. It's pretty greasy. It's just pretty stiff. It stays wherever it wants to. I'm also wearing the same makeup that I wore yesterday to work. So I've had this makeup on for over 24 hours now. And let's just get into it. I wanted to preface this by saying that I am going to address why I haven't posted a video in 2 weeks, and as well, I'm going to tie it in with the topic for today, which, if it's too sensitive for you, talking about mental health, then you can go ahead and not watch this video. It's completely up to you. I know that it's triggering for some people, so I just want to put that out there. I won't be offended. Do what you want to do. Keep yourself safe mentally. So yeah. First I want to say that I did just start back in school, so I am trying to balance that with work right now because I am working every single day of the week except for the weekends. And well, that's a lie. I do work Friday and Saturday mornings. So I just don't work Wednesdays and Sundays for the most part. Oh, and Tuesdays. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Sundays. There we go. It took me a second to think about it. But I do have class every single one of those days, except for the weekends. I do have class every day of the week. And it has been a little bit of a struggle for me to figure out a balance. And I know that I'm not the best at scheduling out my life, and that honestly and truly, doing this has made me realize that I need to get a planner. I used to always try every single school year to get a planner and try to plan out my days, and I've just never been good at it, but I'm gonna learn because being in school full time, working full time, and then doing this on top of it is it can be stressful. And I feel like I don't want to let you guys down. I mean, it's not like I have the most viewers or anything like that, but at the same time, I understand that consistency is something that we look for. And I mean, it's something I look for whenever I'm watching or I follow somebody on YouTube. It's like, oh, you didn't post this week? What in the world? What the heck? But, so I apologize for being that person. I do think that I've figured out the best days to record would be Mondays after my class because I have an early morning class on Mondays, and then Wednesdays I have the same class, early morning class. So I figured I could record on Mondays and then do whatever editing and everything else on Wednesdays and then upload on Wednesdays. And it's scary putting that out there because I feel like once I say that, then I have to commit to it. But I think that that's part of working through my mental health and the issues that I've been having with my scheduling issues. Um, so, yeah, and you guys can hold me to that too. So, recording on Mondays, putting out videos on Wednesdays. That's my plan. You heard it here first, folks. Okay, so, anyways, let's segue into mental health. And here's where you can click off if you want to. I guess something that I would like to bring up is the fact that, like, different things that you can implement into your life to be able to get you through rough parts or sad times or just stagnant emotions. Like, they're the worst times for me are sometimes whenever like I feel nothing. just because I don't feel sad, I don't feel happy. It's just very neutral, and then it's like I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know if anybody else experiences that. Um, I'm also taking medication. You know, I take medication for depression and anxiety, and I know that not everybody is cool with that. Sorry, that was so lame. But I think that an important thing to address is that, like, even if you are okay with taking medications to help these things, it's important to realize that even if you're doing these things and taking the medication, you're not always still able to do the best for yourself, if that makes sense. Let me explain. So, I am on medication. Like, I take medication for anxiety and depression, but the thing is that I'm really bad about keeping up with myself, like taking care of myself individually whenever it comes to things like this, because it's as easy as literally getting in my car and driving to Publix, going through the drive-through and getting my medication, you know, paying for it, and then that's it. But I am not good at it. And I don't know, I think that it's tied to anxiety or depression in a way, but I'm just not very good at taking care of myself in those aspects, like having to do the work to go forward or just doing something that simple. But I have found things that work for me that could possibly maybe work for you too in your day-to-day life if you're struggling. Um, so something that I have come across, I don't really know what it's called specifically or who came up with the concept, but I do know that, like, it's something, I think it's called like the 5 second rule. Forgive me if I'm wrong about that, but um I think I think that's what it's called. But anyway, so it's basically where you only have 5 seconds to, like, just get up and do something. Don't talk yourself out of it. Acknowledge that you have to get something done, and don't let your brain go through those 5 seconds and then be able to start giving you reasons as to why you can just put it off until tomorrow or whatever else. You know, like, last night, I did not want to clean my room when I came home from work, and I sat down on my bed for a good little bit, and I just started thinking, okay, I need to clean my room. And before I could even think about, like, telling myself to not clean my room, I just got up and started doing it. I just picked up one shirt, and I started with one shirt, and then eventually all my shirts were folded. All of my shirts were in the closet. And I can't explain, like, the actual science behind it and why, like, it works. And I know that it's kind of hard to understand if, like, you're like, well, if you have to think about it to be able to initiate the process of starting it, then how is it that you're not able to talk yourself out of it before initiating the process? But it works. You guys should try it. Just the next time you have to do something, just just don't even give yourself a second to think about it. Like, just get up and do it. And I know that that sounds a lot easier said than done, but I promise you it does work. Um, well, it works for me. If that is something that wouldn't work for you, there are a couple of other things that I do whenever I'm stuck in a mental rut. Um, like, I am very big on journaling. I probably have a stack piled high, I don't know, of journals back from whenever I was a kid all the way up until now. And I think that even if you're not able to articulate what you want to say or how you feel, it's amazing to just write it down, even if it doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't have to make sense. Just as long as you get whatever feelings out that you need to. It doesn't matter if you're a good writer, it doesn't matter if you can't do poetry, like, you don't need to do any of that to be able to just write out how you feel. And sorry, most of the time whenever I'm writing stuff, it's like gibberish. Like, it's just because of my frustrations from that day. Like, if I had a bad customer at work or something, just write it out. Just because I'm a firm believer in the fact that while there are plenty of people around me to like talk to, bounce like my feelings off of, and to talk me through what I'm feeling, they can't be there for me for every single little thing. Because, in my opinion, it's not the most fair, just because I understand the feeling of going through my own like mental health struggles, and then on top of that, I have had experiences where people like where they can lean on me, and that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with people leaning on me. I mean, I lean on my girlfriend a lot, but like there can be a time whenever you're going through so much of your own stuff that it can be hard to fully be aware and able to help somebody else, or to be able to give the feedback or the attention that they need, just because it can be very draining. You know, we're not all therapists. That is not something that every individual in the world has signed up to be, even though, you know, we feel like we can lean on people. And that's not to say that we can't. It's just the fact that sometimes if, you know, you're dealing with your own mental health, and then on top of that having to deal and talk through another person's struggles. And, you know, like I said, it could be perfectly fine, and whoever you're speaking to may be perfectly okay with you talking through things with them. But I just personally don't always like to put how I'm feeling and all of my expectations on another person, just because I know they're also dealing with their own stuff. And that can be a little bit draining. So write it out. Write it out. Say whatever you want to, and that way you don't even have to censor yourself. Half the time, whenever I'm talking to people about how I actually feel, like I still find myself having to censor what I'm saying because I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want to put too much on somebody, so I hold back. And if you're writing it out for yourself, then that way you don't even have to do all that middle stuff. You can truly just say what it is that you're feeling and what you're thinking, and that's perfectly okay. And you don't always have to address it to the other person. Sometimes just getting those feelings out and being done with it is the best way to deal with it. Um, Another thing that I did a lot whenever I first moved back to my hometown, I used to live in St. Petersburg. I did that for a year, and then I moved back home. And I really missed being by the beach, because when I lived in St. Pete, I literally lived like 10 minutes away from the beach. So, something I'll do now, I don't really have as much time anymore because of school and work and being an adult, but something that I do like to do if I have the time and energy to do it, because it is a bit of a trek, is to drive out to St. Pete Beach. Or there's actually this bar that's on the beach for people who are 21 and older. It's called Caddies on the Beach in St. Pete, and I would go there almost every single day. I would just sit on the beach and have a little drink and write in my little journal, or I would go sit on the top because it's a double story, double story bar, so you can sit on the bottom like by the sand, or you can sit up at the top and like look over the whole ocean, which is really nice. And something that used to be really bad at was taking myself out to dinner, but I became really good at it when I lived by myself in St. Pete. Well, I didn't live by myself, I had roommates, but it felt like I lived by myself. We'll do that on a different video. But so these are like, that's a good thing to do as well. Like, it's good to get past the anxiety. Not that you can always, but it's good to get past like that feeling of feeling like you can't do anything whenever you're feeling down or stressed out or something. Literally, all you have to think about is what you want to do, you know, unless it's harming yourself. Usually, we're good at knowing exactly what is going to make us feel better. And so, if we just listen to that rather than pushing things out of our minds, or like getting overwhelmed because of the smallest things, and it can be overwhelming. But if you just take a breath, sit down, count to 10, and think to yourself, what right now is going to make me feel better? What right now is going to bring me peace? And just do it. Do that. Go for a walk. Go make yourself some dinner. Go buy yourself dinner. Take yourself out for a nice little meal. Like these things, it brings up our dopamine levels and it helps us get through hard times. Whether you're on medication or not, it's not always the easiest to get through these times, and sometimes you feel like you're alone or that you can't talk to anybody. And the thing is that you're right here. You're all you need most of the time, you know? We just have to find ways to center ourselves and ground ourselves, bring ourselves back to reality, because I feel like that's the main part of it, is that when you get overwhelmed, then everything becomes too much. And then you don't know how to, like, you feel like you need to talk about it, or you need to, I don't really know how to explain it, but like you just feel like you can't contain what you're feeling, or at least that's what I experience a lot, is that whenever I don't know how to express what I'm thinking to somebody else, like I feel so overwhelmed that I'm like shaking. And like a good thing to do is to just calm down. Just calm down. And I know that that's a lot easier said than done. I'm a really big crier whenever I get frustrated. So a lot of the times I have to tell myself, Joanna, you are overthinking this. This is not reality. This is not what's actually going on. Just breathe, count to 10, and revisit the situation. Revisit it, tell yourself how you can approach things and take it step by step rather than seeing it as a whole and then becoming overwhelmed by it. Um, yeah, I know that that was a little sporadic. I didn't really write out like what I was going to say, so I apologize for the blah, 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 blah. And again, I'm really sorry about taking 2 weeks to come back and post another video, just because I hope you guys understand that it's been a lot for me lately, and I really do want to do this. And look at me messing with it. I look blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I'm really sorry. I am doing better, or I'm going to do better. Not that I am doing better, because I still need to take the steps to get better. I'm going to buy myself a planner, and I'm going to write out my days. That's another thing you can do. Wake up in the morning, write out your daily schedule. Do that. It helps get you through the day. And to be able to like cross things off of your list, I don't know if you're a list person, but I am a list person. I love writing lists. I love staying organized, even though it's like in a crazy organized state that I am. I don't know. No matter how wild it comes off to other people, it's organized to me. So, and it feels good to just cross something off your list. Just take 10 minutes in the morning whenever you first wake up, write down everything that you need to get done that day and do those things. Hold yourself accountable. That's another thing, is that like I felt so guilty not posting a video, and so I felt bad about myself. But I need to remind myself that this is normal. I see people take breaks from YouTube all the time. And I'm not saying that that's something that I want to consistently do. Obviously, I want to get better and not do these things. But I realized that it is a learning curve, and that it's going to take time for me to get into a schedule, and I don't want to commit things that I can't follow through with. But now that I have sat down and kind of figured out like a schedule for myself throughout the week, now I can confidently say that, I'm going to start recording on Mondays and I'm going to start releasing videos on Wednesdays. So, if you guys want to come back and see me, you can see me on Wednesdays. Those are the days. I promise. I don't like saying that word, but I promise this time. Yeah, I hope that some of those little tidbits helped out. I, again, am sorry if this video is all over the place. I also didn't mean for it to be 20 minutes long, but here we are. So, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I promise the next time that I post a video, it will be on a Wednesday. So look out for that. And please like and subscribe. And what else? Let's see. If you want to follow me on any social media, that will be down below. If you have any comments, concerns, topics that you want me to address, then you can comment that as well. But yeah, I hope you guys are all doing great. I hope you have a great week. Sorry for being annoying. Doodles!